This way. And we're live. Hi, Hannah. How are you?
I'm really well. How are you, Rebecca?
I'm great, and I'm just so excited that we're finally connecting. Elizabeth Woodward, she is awesome. Your producer of the film we're going to be talking about, Mercy Poppy, and yeah, like she's just said such great things about you, and I'm just so excited that we can talk. And I've followed you from afar on Instagram, so I'm just glad that we can really get into it, talking about one of your films that's coming to HollyShorts in a few weeks, which is so exciting. So, I just thought we would start talking about the inspiration for your film, Mercy Poppy. I gotta say, I love what you had in your director's statement, but I thought, you could just answer it here. What inspired you to make this short film?
Yeah, well, first, always a big thanks to Elizabeth. She's an absolute powerhouse of a person,
Yes.
not to mention just a lovely human. So it's a great combination and a really great partner. She, Tara, and I have been working together on a few projects now, and it's a dream team for me.
That's great.
So thank you too for taking the time. Uh, I mean, for me, every kind of script, meaning story, starts with character.
Mhm.
And I felt obsessed with the question for this young woman, why was the most obsessive relationship in her life with her boss? And
Yeah.
like taking a step back from that, I always am just kind of endlessly intrigued with the gnawing questions for a person, and when a person has gnawing questions, which I think is everyone, but when I'm particularly focused on one person's kind of experience of a question that returns over and over to them, that to me is like an indication that they're a character worth exploring.
Yes.
um and I just kept thinking about this person, wondering whether her boss was thinking about her, whether her boss liked her, whether her boss liked her as much as she liked him, whether she
Yeah.
liked him, whether she loved him, whether she couldn't stand him. And then I returned to being Hannah and thought, oh my God, why is the kind of most codependent dynamic with this person's boss? And what does
Mhm.
that mean? And how can I explore this dynamic? And how can I do it in a way that feels as full, I guess, as kind of the love and frustration that she has for him. So
Mhm.
that's where it started, this kind of like needling question in my own brain on behalf of this person. And then things started to
Yeah. I
become a
I
little clearer.
yeah, I love that, like how, there's so much going on there in her head, and you're like, she just wants to get out something to him,
Yeah.
It's just like you could see what there's things billowing inside. And in your director's statement, I love how you put this question, what is the process of which a young woman becomes herself? And I think that's so like, I've been recently watching films with young women like in their 20s, coming to a point in their life where they're brinking on the adulthood more. And like there's this film Chestnut that came out recently, about a girl who just graduated college and she's just in this in between state. And then Waiting for the Light to Change, directed by Lynn Tran, is also a great film. So I love these different films that I've never seen before coming out about exploring being like a 20 something, and not in a cliche way, like a real life way, which I think is exciting. And I love that your collaboration you have with Victoria Pedretti. I know that you had worked with her on a short film before, which I haven't seen, and I definitely want to see. So I'm interested on how you two started collaborating on projects together, and how was it working on this particular project with her?
Um, I mean, I could wax poetic about Victoria all day. She's a very special person.
Mhm.
I mean, it's sort of a simple beginning. I had a casting director, and I'd never worked with a casting director before.
Mhm.
And he talked to me in depth about who the character was, and then sent me basically a list of all very exciting people. And I said, I'm really excited by her. I haven't seen her do something like this, but I think I just have this feeling that she'd get it. And
Yeah.
he sort of smiled and said, well, she's going to be hard to get for a student short film. And I wrote her a letter and I said,
Ah,
let's try, and explaining what I thought the role was and what my questions were. And I wondered if she had some of the same questions. And I think she was taken with it. And she watched my previous short. Um, and so that was the beginning. And I think she kind of
ah,
took a chance, maybe felt entertained by the prospect of a very small thing in the context of doing, much larger work.
right.
Um, and I think we just spoke a kind of a similar language, and that language involved a lot of questions about character. Um, and also Victoria in a way, and we got to know each other with this project and then have worked together since. I mean, she's unbelievably studied and smart, but she's also very intuitive and not as concerned about talking about process. I mean, she wants to get to the
Mm,
heart of the thing.
yeah.
And I really admire that because I can over intellectualize, I can get kind of heady and conversational. And I think there's a place for that. But sometimes
Mhm.
it's about to just like getting to the core of the thing. And
Yeah.
she has a spectacular ability to do that and to do it fast. And to be quite precise with her intention.
Mhm.
And I love that and I've learned from it. So the story is a kind of a casting journey and her saying okay, and then us getting along well, and her challenging me to be much more precise with my own kind of not just what I'm after with the project, but also how I communicate what that is. She
Right.
like really gave me the space to be unbelievably direct, which I think,
Mhm.
I don't know, in my experience of being a young person, certainly a young woman, it can be hard
Yeah.
to know whether that's allowed. And
Mhm.
Victoria did a lot of permission granting in a very gentle and immediate way. And so
Yeah.
the process of working with her in making stories about people who are after something felt good, basically.
Yeah, that's so great. And yeah, I love her. I mean, I've seen her in the Flanagan stuff, and she's just, this is right. Like, I've never seen her play these type of characters that are in your films. And I think, she nailed it. And yeah, so she's an exciting person to watch. And I love that you guys collaborated together. I want to talk about your DP because I always get excited when I see a female DP on the list. So Caitlin Makak. Is that how you pronounce her last name?
Machak, yeah.
Machak, yes.
Machak.
So I think this film was so interesting about like angles and the point of view of Poppy, but also just like showing her relationship with her boss, like with the camera, like you could get like a feeling just of the tension, but also just of their relationship together. So can you talk about working with your DP and just like the process and choosing the shots and like, yeah, so. Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, would love to. I I think an early conversation with Caitlin about what the feeling of the film was sort of
Mhm.
dictated all of the steps after. And the feeling of the film was literally the heart rate of Poppy. It was like I
Mhm.
kind of wanted to be, I mean, in all kind of typical storytelling ways, like really with her and breathing with her. Um, and I wanted to juxtapose that with the architecture of the space. And
Yes.
architecture of the space being completely defined by this person that she's trying to like
Mhm.
access, essentially, who's totally inaccessible but also so readily available, and like
Mhm.
how to
Mhm.
navigate that both of those things being true. So I mean, I think we wanted it to feel intuitive and grounded in her, but also very revealing of this space that she knew how to operate in, but that was definitively not hers.
Mhm.
So like how to create a feeling of being a person in a foreign space that also you have the skill set to like maneuver.
Yeah.
And that's part of why we start the film not in the house, because there were a lot of questions about whether only this one space, which is the boss's house for people who haven't seen. Poppy shows
Mhm.
up at her boss's house, his beach house. It felt important to be handheld, and we actually got a lot of pushback early kind of creative advisors to the film or kind of mentor figures saying this space, which is so architectural and staid and kind of elegant, is a movie that's calling to be, asking to be on sticks, and the minute we did that, we kind of auditioned that because I take seriously the feedback I get,
Right, right.
felt so like the perspective felt lost, because
Yeah,
it was like doing what the house wanted and not how she feels in the house,
right.
so that helped drive it. Like anytime that we started to feel far from her, we just put the camera in a place that felt like maybe we would have a clearer sense of how she felt. And that dictated camera angle as well. And lighting, like letting some of the characters sometimes feel slightly overexposed. They're kind of like backlit in a way, but
Yeah,
making sure she's quite clearly in focus and putting, all of that, I mean, it was totally, totally rooted in how do we as an audience using camera and all the other techniques feel like we are kind of like holding hands with the person who's taking us through this experience.
yeah, I love that. Oh my goodness. And then so yeah, your film screening at HollyShorts, which is so exciting. This isn't the premiere though. You've been on a festival run already with this film, right? Is that
It
correct?
just started, actually. I mean, it
Okay.
isn't the premiere, but we're just sort of starting to bring the movie to audiences. So we're
Ah,
so excited. This will be the West Coast premiere at HollyShorts.
oh, cool.
So
Okay.
that's really exciting. Poppy was one of my NYU grad film projects, and I
Ah,
sort of got right into the process of making and then making the next project. So I've been slow to get this movie kind of like out there and to edit it properly. And I'm so
yeah.
excited that it's finding audiences now because I mean, it wasn't the height of COVID, but it still felt kind of contained as a project. And so to get to watch it with audiences is like the best.
Yes.
It's kind of
Oh,
scary, but the best thing.
yeah, no, it's so exciting and it's such a good lineup. I love that I've been doing these interviews for like, I 3 or 4 years and I'm just seeing like the filmmakers, emerging filmmakers that I've been talking to going to these festivals and I'm just so excited for them. What do you hope people see in your film in this particular project?
Hmm. What an interesting question.
It is, yeah. And I ask it every interview because I always get the best answers because it makes people think a little deeper about it.
I mean, maybe that it's very, very hard to be a person and that um it wrapped up in desire and want to become yourself is indecision and fear and exhilaration. So maybe I want people to feel like it's okay to be questioning whether you're up to the right thing and to try to go after a thing that scares you and thrills you at the same time, and that you have to kind of I don't know, be messy to feel slightly
Yeah.
less messy, maybe.
Mhm, mhm.
I don't know.
That's so good.
What a
Yeah.
messy answer to something that involves mess in my
You
response.
know what?
Yeah.
That was perfect. And it got to the heart of it. And I gotta say, this was a question Ava DuVernay asked. Of course, I'm gonna forget the filmmaker's name. It was like Garrett. I'll get back to you on that. But Garrett Bradley, yes.
Mm.
So I think her film documentary film's time, but whatever. Anyways, when she asked that, I was like, I'm totally doing that because it is such a good question. And I usually end on that, but I actually have one more for you. So I congratulations on getting into the 2024 Sundance Screenwriter Director Producer Lab for your feature debut, Rubber Hat. And I don't know if you can talk about it yet, if you're keeping it under wraps while you're going through the process, but I don't, I want to say congratulations. And if you would like to talk about that film, you can, or is there any other projects that you're working on now that you're excited about that you can share more about?
Yeah, well, thank you. It's been a really exciting process. Yeah, Rubber Hut is my feature that I just brought through the Sundance Screenwriters and Directors Lab, and one of my producing partners, who's not Elizabeth, Tara, the other Dream
Yeah.
Trio member, went through the Producers Lab as well with the project. I mean, it's not even so much a secret as I'm back in the draft, so I'm deep in kind of contemplative note
Right.
receiving and execution mode. But it's set in 1992 Rhode Island, and it's about a woman who opens a drive-through condom shop in her conservative town.
Oh my goodness. I
And
love
it's
that.
a lot of fun. And it's also, it's in the same vein of things that I've been working on this whole time, which is a woman not in her 20s, but like, how the hell do you be yourself in the context of other people being themselves? Like that's the thing of life, right? Like, how can you be you while other people are them? Um, and what does that look like? Is there conflict there? So it's kind of the same question, maybe always for me.
Yeah. Mhm.
So Rubber Hut, yeah, we're in kind of early development. I'm saying to everyone, while the industry is kind of sleepy and for the next kind of couple of weeks, as it always is in
Yeah.
the summer,
Mhm.
I'm writing. But I also made just after Merci Poppy my thesis film for NYU that's called F That Guy. It is the full
Yeah. Okay. I thought you had
and
made that one first for some
no,
reason. That's why.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Mhm.
quick succession, those films, also with Victoria in it.
Ah,
She's
yeah.
tremendous, and the film debut of a young woman named Cyrus, and she's also awesome, so that's a really cool dynamic. But I mean, yes, always working on things. I mean, I think that they all inform each other. I had heard that people sort of get into this work and then they find themselves asking the same questions over and over, and that has been my very limited but also very enthusiastic experience so far. So chipping
Yeah.
away at it.
I
Yeah,
mean, I love that because you definitely have a vision and so I'm forgetting my words today, but
same.
the director vision. There's the auteur, like auteurs, I guess that might be the word. But I basically what I'm saying, your style, I'm excited about, and I love how you dig deep into these characters and the way you show these characters. So I'm just really excited about you as a director. So I'm encouraging everybody to go to HollyShorts. Do you know the night or that you're screening yet?
It's
Or,
playing on
okay.
Tuesday. I can't believe I'm going to get this right. It's playing on Tuesday, August 13th. I
Oh,
think at
great.
5
Okay.
p.m. But it's
Okay.
also going to be online. We're going to include it in the online streaming. So please, if you can't be there, watch it.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously closed down and you have to get an online ticket. But
Mhm.
yeah, I can't wait for people to watch this. I think it's kind of a weird movie, even though in some ways it's a kind of a
Yeah.
classic kind of arc, but there's some kind of unusual dynamics in it. So I'm curious what people how it lands for folks.
Yeah. Yeah. This is one not to miss. And I'll make sure to link everything so people can, get their tickets. I don't even know if tickets are available yet because I went on the Holly Short site and I didn't see it. But as soon as tickets are available, I'll make sure to incorporate it in this piece. So thank you for speaking with me.
Oh,
This
thank
has
you.
been wonderful. And I wish I could be there at HollyShorts in person, but I know a lot of our readers are in the LA area, so I'm going to get people really psyched about, going and seeing your film.
That's
So
really kind. I've loved
yes,
talking with you. Thank you for watching
yes,
closely and
of
asking thoughtful
course.
questions. It's like
Yes,
very generous and fun for me.
of course. And you have a good rest of your weekend, and I hope
Thank
to
you.
get the feature piece up soon. So thank
Cool.
you.
Keep in touch. I can't wait to keep talking to you about movies.
Yes, yes.
Thank
Thank
you.